I'd like to welcome everyone very cordially during today's meeting at Basztowa 22. The Marshal is our host, and today we are going to present the long-awaited logo of the third European Games in Kraków, the region of Małopolska. In 2023, I'd like to welcome our guests very cordially. I'd like to welcome Witold Kozłowski. I would also like to welcome the President of the Organization Committee, Mr. Marcin Nowak. I would like to welcome the Deputy President of the Organization Committee, Mr. Janusz Kozioł. And I would like to welcome the Deputy President, Michał Langer. Let me welcome very warmly the designer of the logo, Mr. Marcin Salawa. I would also like to welcome the representatives of the European Olympic Committees who are with us online. I would like to welcome the representatives of the Polish Olympic Committee. I'd like to welcome the representatives of the Marshal's Office. And I would like to welcome all the other guests and representatives of the media. The President of the committee, Mr. Marcin Nowak, will take the floor now. Mr. Marshal, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, I am very happy to be meeting you among such eminent participants, but first and foremost on a day that is so important for Kraków and for the entire region of Małopolska. We are at the brink of the third European Games, and we are meeting today exactly 1 year before the third European Games in 2023. So we will now embark on the process of preparation for the third European Games, and I am sure that the year ahead of us will be a year of hard work, but we deeply believe that the final outcome, both sports outcome as well as the organization outcome, will be to everyone's satisfaction. We are here full of hope, full of expectations, but also some concerns. But I am convinced that the year ahead of the third European Games, as we're meeting here in a year's time, we will all be proud that all of us, the inhabitants of Kraków and Małopolska, have made it, and that we have managed to showcase it to the world that Kraków is a wonderful place to be. And as for the organization of the third European Games, I am sure that the coming days will be very heated indeed, as summer is nearing, and this year before the third European Games will be the time filled with hard work. But our goal is united. We will be meeting here in a year's time, and we will celebrate this international festivity of sports. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, I'd like you to view the presentation of the logo of the third European Games in Kraków 2023. Right, so now you're familiar with the logo, and in a while we will share the press materials with you, but Marcin Salawa, the designer of the logo, will tell you more about the logo itself. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The idea of Olympic Games is the idea of coexistence and friendship and solidarity, hence the flame as the general motive that everyone associates with Olympic Games. It contains the pictogram of fire, the entire name of the Games, and another element that identifies Olympic Games, that is the specially designed font that refers to the 5 Olympic circles. That circle, that is the mosaic, is the logotype of the European Olympic Committee. And the joint goal, that is the organization of European Games, is the goal shared by Kraków and the entire region of Małopolska. And this joint effort is symbolized by the slanting lines in the color of Kraków, that is blue and white, as well as in the colors of the region of Małopolska, that is the color red and the color yellow. This visual identification forms part of a joint identification system for the European Games. It has been designed in such a way so that the logotype of the European Games is available for all carriers and maybe read, maybe deciphered by all carriers. As you've noticed, the full version contains the pictogram of fire, but also enriched with the symbol of St. Mary's Church in Kraków. But in the reduced version, it contains the abstract slanting lines. There is also the monochromatic version that contains the pictogram of fire only, and the 2 colors, blue and white, as well as the entire name of the Games and the date. Should you have any questions concerning the logotype, I will be happy to address them after the presentation. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Marcin, the designer, will be available afterwards, but now I'd like to ask the Marshal of the Małopolska province, Mr. Witold Kozłowski, to take the floor. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome everyone very cordially. Well, it is a very happy day indeed. For the first time, exactly 365 days before the start of the 3rd European Games in Kraków, we are presenting the logo of the Games to you. I myself like the logo very much. Thank you to the author. Thank you to the designer. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now at a point in time when, in fact, we have completed the decision-taking process, which required a lot of effort of many individuals. What I can say is that it's not only the city of Kraków and the region of Małopolska that has been involved in the organization of the Games, but also the Polish National Olympic Committee, but also the Ministry of Sports, and first and foremost, the host of the Games, that is the European Olympic Committees. The tortuous path towards this day has been covered. We now have a dedicated company, European Games 2023. It's a limited liability company that is in charge of the organization. Mr. Marcin Nowak is the CEO of the company, and they will now be taking over. I do hope that all of us jointly will make every effort so as to ensure that everyone who's going to come to Kraków, sports people, activists, auxiliary personnel, the technical crews, but also fans, spectators. I do hope that they will come here and they will enjoy the games. And I do hope that they will associate the region of Małopolska with beauty. It goes without saying that this is the most beautiful region in Poland. And yes, I am bold enough to say it. But I also hope that they will leave Kraków with a feeling that they have been welcomed with the traditional hospitality of Małopolska. I do hope that they will remember our hospitality, our friendliness for a long, long time to come. All that is good is right here in Małopolska. This is our motto, and I am sure that we will be plenty of goodwill also in a year to come. I have also prepared a surprise for the management board of the company in charge of the preparation of the games. You might remember that 2 years ago, our office purchased the famous Mercedes, and we did it on purpose because back then we knew that we would be organizing the European Games, even though some people still had some reservations as to the final decisions. But we did purchase the famous Mercedes. Well, I was criticized for it, as you might remember, but I think today is the time to hand over the keys to that very conference Mercedes to the CEO of the company. And this is a token of our support. But there will be another surprise as well, because in the meantime, we have also received another passenger car, also a Mercedes, thanks to the support of the OECD ambassador. And that very Mercedes will also be handed over to the company. And I also express my hope that you will use it in the very best way possible. These are not empty boxes, mind you. They do contain the keys. Thank you very much. I am not sure which is which. Well, it is of lesser significance, but I would like to repeat my words from 2 years back, and this is just to confirm this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to show you the promotional film. And the 1 year to go event has already begun. It began 15 minutes ago, and that event will continue until the evening. At 8 in the evening, the mayor of Kraków, Mr. Jacek Majchrowski, will be there, and we will be doing the countdown. 365 days to the 3rd European Games in Kraków.
Discover it.
Ladies and gentlemen, so this is how we're beginning the countdown to the third European Games in Krakow. Please follow our social media. Please download all the promotion materials and be up to date with our press materials. Let's take a family photo now. Mr. Marshall, Mr. CEO, heads of departments, please join me here on stage. And the designer of the logo as well. Councillor Stanisław Bisztyga has joined us. In the meantime, I'd like to invite all of you here on stage. We're going to take a family photo now.
Prosimy o włączenie logo w tle do zdjęcia.
Let's have the logo of the games in the background.
Bardzo dziękujemy i teraz zapraszamy
Thank
do
you.
zadawania indywidualnych pytań.
Now comes the time for individual questions, so a short Q&A session with the participants of this conference.